Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Chodash, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, our two great kings, the gods that the King James Bible speaks of, which again, the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, who the world in ignorance calls Christ. True name is Yahweh Shai. Second of all, I want to give the honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar and on down, that rule and teach well. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Alright, so I just want to do a short in-transit lesson, or however long the spirit of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video, A Lack of Bread and Water is Coming to Babylon. Alright, and Lord Wills, brothers, can see on the screen the inspiration for this lesson comes from this video that was put up here by the guy Economic Ninja. Alright, and the title of his video reads, The Diesel Price Problem Destroying Trucking Companies. Alright, which through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai started with the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone and brothers ranking on down have been speaking about this for some time now. How diesel or shortage on diesel or no diesel will lead to no food in the grocery stores or a shortage of food in the grocery stores. Alright, because all the goods in these stores get there by way of trucks, semis, all right, which semis run off obviously of diesel, all right, which diesel in my area right now is $6 a gallon. Outrageous number, and it's going to continue to climb. All right, and not to jump too far off topic, but I was watching the press conference with Trump. Like Elder Tahar has been saying, he has to be the cruel Lord spoken about in Isaiah, in the book of Isaiah. All right, he has to be the guy. And with this guy at the helm, it looks like America's going to be destroyed within the next, Lord willing, could be the end of this year or the beginning to the middle of next year. All right, because with all this going on, you know, the amping up of this war in the Persian Gulf or in the Middle East, you got to believe that the CHIP, the MOTB, is near, which is a lot of ways, a lot of wild cards. You know, the CHIP could be made, they could make the CHIP mandatory, which a lot of people are saying it could come by way of an energy crisis, some type of crisis, all right, financial crisis. You know, again, a lot of wild cards in which the chip could be made mandatory. All right, so the CHIP has to be around the corner. With all this going on again in the Middle East, the CHIP has to be going. The CHIP has to be just around the corner. All right, but yeah, I was just watching, you know, his press conference. This place is going to be destroyed within the next year or so, man. With that dude. All right. Again, he has to be the cruel Lord, man. He has to be. All right. Because the guy after him, you don't want to see the guy after him. If he dies or, you know, he's impeached or whatever happens, which I don't see none of that happen. I think they're going to actually cancel the midterms and the rest of the elections, which is all garbage anyway. Which, you know, the higher ups of Edom, the elite banker families out of London, they pick the presidents. All right, the bankers pick their presidents. All this Senate and Congress and, you know, you voting, none of that, they don't go by none of that. The bankers out of England pick the presidents. All right, you got something called the 3 city states. And I believe through the spirit of Bobby Al-Bashim Al-Shah, just speaking as a man, all right, they're going to keep him in there, all right, because he's the man for the job. Because again, you got something called the 3 city states, which out of London or England, all right, all the financial decisions are made, and all of the decisions on how the world is going to be ran or who's running the countries or whatever is decided. All right, but yeah. Anyway, it's like not to jump too far off topic, but again, this video right here is the guy Economic Ninja explains it beautifully. All right, which I'm gonna go ahead and play this video, which, you know, this isn't coming. This is already happening now. As I speak, through the spirit of Bobby Abashimi Al-Shah, as I speak, this is happening right now. All right, this isn't something that's coming or something that's around the corner, or, you know, maybe a month or 2 or 3. It's happening right now. And in the coming days, weeks, and months, it's going to get worse, way worse. All right, but it's already bad now. You're about to start seeing the effects of how bad it really is. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video. Salaki.
Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well.
Man, Salaki, brother, Salaki. All right, Salaki, brothers. Do something real quick. Salak, I'm going to go ahead and play the video.
Enjoy food in your refrigerator, if you enjoy toilet paper on your in your bathroom, if you enjoy... Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. If you enjoy food in your refrigerator, if you enjoy toilet paper on your in your bathroom, if you enjoy the furniture that's in your house, guess what? A trucker brought it there. Truckers are very important, vital part of our national infrastructure to get us the goods and services that we want and need. And they're coming under fire. Local trucking companies around the nation are starting to hurt. Check out this story out of WJACTV.com. They're talking about the impact of high fuel prices right now. It says right here, trucking companies are saying that they are feeling the effects of diesel prices rising over the last month, which could impact all of us. Truck company officials say that the cost of fuel has nearly doubled for them, making transportation very difficult right now. Look, I just pulled in to buy diesel for my car, and it is over $6 a gallon, which where I live is absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it. And I believe that we're going to see much higher prices in the next few weeks, which is going to add to more of the trucking woes around our nation. Remember, right before the Great Recession,
Remember, starting with it, like through the spirit of Bobby Abashimi Al-Shah, starting with the elders and the apostles, so great millstone and brothers Rigging on down, have been saying this for some time now. And now it's finally coming to pass. That you're going to see diesel shortages, you know, energy crisis, or what have you, and now it's happening.
Trucks are pulling off the side of the freeway and saying, we're not even finishing the delivery. We're actually losing money. We're going under because...
You heard that? It's companies, it's trucking companies or truckers are saying, we're not even going to finish delivery. We're losing so much money. We're not even going to bother taking it the rest of the way to the store. Hey man, call Lawyer Malaya Al-Bashimi Al-Shah, man. This is beautiful, man.
The contracts we wrote, and it's gonna happen, I think, again this summer. Now it says, not everyone has noticed rising gas prices, whether they're filling up their cars or just...
Well, he said that's coming. Yeah, that's coming. That's definitely, you know, coming. It's probably happening now. It's, again, like I said, diesel in my area is $6 a gallon down here in Florida. And the brother Ma, in our camp, the area where he lives at in Jacksonville, Florida, they're already out of regular gas and I think it's premium. What's the other one? Supreme, I think it is, if I ain't mistaken. But you can only buy the in certain areas in Jacksonville, Florida, and down south too. In certain areas down south, they're out of regular gas, and they're out of the second, you know, grade highest gas that you can buy. I think it's premium, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, people are forced to buy the high price gas, the $5 and some change gas, pushing $6 gas, which people was already, you know, struggling before the this conflict in the Persian Gulf started. You know.
Driving past a sign. But as truckers try to get products to where they need to go, the last month has been difficult for companies even to run a business. Some diesel prices in Cambria County are ranging between $5.80 and $6 a gallon. Let me know down below how much diesel is in your area, because that's what's really going to drive this next economic recession. Gasoline is one thing, but diesel is what is going to affect the entire economy. It says,
yeah, diesel is more important than gas. Diesel is way more important than gas because, again, everything in the store gets there by way of semi-trucks or rigs, big rigs or whatever. So no diesel or shortage of diesel, All right, no diesel means nothing gets there, and the shortage of diesel means there's less things in the store.
On top of diesel costing nearly double for trucking companies, transportation officials say that truck parts and tires are also costing more right now. While deliveries are earning them a bit more, companies say it's not nearly enough to cover the costs that they have to put in, and those delivery prices don't start coming in for 30 to 90 days anyway. So you're seeing higher costs right now, and then them taking that 60 to 90 day lag time when they actually get the money in from the deliveries that they're making on the current day. This is serious, and in the next 30 to 60 days, if fuel prices stay just the same as what they are, we're going to see, I believe, a lot of trucking companies have to change completely the way they do business. If it stays past that going into summer, and remember, we've got the spring summer rise in fuel prices normally on top of what's going on, and even if tomorrow everything ends in Iran, the fuel prices aren't going to drop like people think they are.
Yeah, because the damage has already been done. Even if, there is a so-called ceasefire tomorrow, which Iran already said, we're not negotiating, we're not talking, F you, go F yourself, to the Trump administration or to Babylon. All right, so looks like there's no ceasefire coming tomorrow. All right, which again, in his press conference that he just gave, he spoke briefly on that, and he's doubling down, saying, look, by 8 o'clock tomorrow, if they ain't came to an agreement, we're gonna bomb all the bridges, which is a war crime. We're gonna bomb all of the power plants, which is a war crime. And again, stuff he was saying, was just crazy. Like he mentioned, again, not to go too far off topic, Salakia, but he said that, we're talking, we're negotiating well, but then he turned around in the interview and said that the problem is we can't talk to him, we can't communicate with him, because we knocked the hell out of everything. All of the infrastructure is messed up, even their communication. So which one is it? Are you talking? If their communications and everything is down, how you negotiating with them? How you talking to them? And then he said, well, we're speaking to him by way of basically a middleman, but still, how are they talking to him? See what I'm saying? Like, this shit is crazy, man. All right? But it's beautiful, though, man. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Again, all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. But, yeah, things about to get, super ugly here in Babylon the Great. Super ugly, man. All right? Good for the small number, the remnant, the 144,000 and 1/3, which consists of men, women, and children, all right, of the nation of Israel, which you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native and Seminole Indians, and bad for the multitude, in the world, all right? 2/3 in these other nations, the 2/3 of all people in the other nations, all right? Bad for them, but good for us, all right? Abaratazah, the brothers out there pushing on myself off that number of the elect. This is Second Esdras. Start with this one first. Second Esdras chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly, Second Esdras chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. All right. And when you think about it, the main way that can happen is by way of what? Trucking stopping. All right. Again, no diesel means no trucks are running. No trucks running means there's nothing in the store. The storehouses you can go to now and buy whatever you want. All right, trucking stops. Them goods ain't gonna be there. They ain't gonna be there, and it has to be by way of big rigs. Cause you can't just put shit on, vans and, and more than likely if there's a shortage of diesel, there's gonna be a shortage of gas. So that's not even really an option. All right, and you can try with the electronic shit, but that shit ain't going too well. So you need diesel, man. You need diesel. You need diesel. All right? Because these electric trucks and cars, man, they ain't built for that type of, them type of missions, man. To drive all across country and shit. They ain't built for that type of shit, man. People are having all type of problems with them electric vehicles. All right? Esau does have electric semis too, but again, them cars ain't built to last, man. Them trucks ain't built for those type of missions, man. Diesel is needed. All right. So this is coming, man, right around the corner. All right, right around the corner. Again, the scripture says we prophesied out of a time far off. The Second Esdras chapter 15, verse 12. Start at verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, which this place is spiritually Egypt, and the foundations of it should be smitten with the plagues and the punishment that Yahweh should bring upon it. All right, one of the punishment the Lord's going to bring upon it is a famine. All right, the lack of bread and water. All right. I'm gonna jump down verse 14. Woe to the world and them that. Well, I could have read 13. Well, I'm gonna go to 14. Verse 14. Woe to the world, which woe means destruction, and them that the world are in. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people should stand up to fight against another with sword in their hands. Right. When it comes down to it, all right, where there's a super scarcity of food, all right, people are going to be willing to kill each other. People are going to be killing each other. All right, you gotta think about it. People kill each other for stupid shit, for Air Jordans. All right, this cases where motherfuckers got killed over a fucking cheeseburger. All right, you know, well, that's so-called food, but you know, people get killed over Jordans. You know, people get killed over, you know, jewelry. You know, vain shit. How much more? All right, when it's something that you need, the body needs, which is food. All right, it's going to turn people into real deal animals. All right. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people should stand up to fight against another with sword in their hands. And one of the main reasons that's going to be because of the shortage of food. All right, people are going to, you know, start killing each other over food. For there should be sedition among men and invading one another, and they should not regard their kings and princes in the course of their actions to stand in their power. Right. You know, brothers, pretty sure most of the brothers, you know, if you was allowed to, you know, because I know brothers probably working right now and all of that, but if brothers was able to check out the press conference that Trump just gave, and you went down on the comments, you know, people are real deal had it with this dude and his administration, or this whole government. People are real deal had it with him. All right, we're catching all type of hell. Any other day he got on TV and said we don't have money for child care, we don't have money, barely have money for Medicaid. We got to cut all that shit out, because we fighting these wars and all that. So no money for you, but to help you, but he got money to send to the small hats and to Ukraine, you know, to Eastern Europe and all of that. They got money for that, but for you, they ain't got no money to help you. You know, people have real deal had it with this administration, or again, this whole government. All right, and the modern day kings and princesses are your presidents, senators, mayors, or what have you. People have had it with them, and ultimately they're going to come after them. Verse 17. And a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able, which that's martial law, checkpoints, which is coming soon too. Verse 18. For because of their pride, the city should be troubled, which Babylon, that great city. All right, this place is going to be troubled. The houses should be destroyed, and men should be afraid. And a man should have no disappointment, and a man should have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, which spoil means to take, which is the main thing people are going to be looking to take is food, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right. And again, you know, with this diesel shortage, or this rise in price of diesel, which is also going to drive the price up of diesel as well. All right, which means, which like the price of diesel being driven up, which is going to cause to the prices in the stores to rise. So they're going to pass that cost off to the consumer. All right. And again, this isn't something that's around the corner. This is happening right now. Again, where I'm at, diesel is $6. Gas is almost $5, approaching $5, and diesel is $6. All right. As a matter of fact, let's do this real quick. Okay, crude oil is at 112. All right, and it's gonna jump. It's gonna go through the roof, because again, they already said they're not willing to negotiate, and he just got on there and threatened to bomb their infrastructure, this shit again. All right, so it's gonna rise. It's gonna keep jumping. I'll see what I gotta check out what brew, and it just went up. So yeah, man, this is happening. This ain't something coming down the pike. This is something that's going on now as we speak, and it's going to intensify. It's going to get worse. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honors again to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you brothers that push this truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.